green juice. Because boy, that breeze.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Altadena Talks. Today is the Toni Talks segment. It's episode 275, and you know what that means? I'm dropping off.
Oops. Where'd everybody else go? Okay. Lord have mercy. So, good morning,
well, you done got rid of Brian.
I have two guests. Brian and Jamal always drop off. I'm going to bring Jamal back in for a minute because what they do is introduce themselves on the Toni Talk Show day, and then they bounce, and they're in the background. So, Jamal, good morning and welcome. Oh, you're on mute? Or, yes.
Good morning. Goodbye.
Jazz Bo.
They say good morning, goodbye. But today on Altadena Talks and the Toni Talks segment, I have two guests that I wanted to bring on because I didn't, we can bring on officials forever, but sometimes I think it's much better to bring on Altadena, right? Talk about what's going on, where they are in the process, the steps they're at, and all of that. So, Eric, you've been on here a couple times. Marcus is a resident fellow who pops in when he can. But I wanted to bring you on, and both of you, thank you, because I reached out to both of you this morning, like, I'm going to need you to pop on at 10. Both of you were like, cool, we're good. But E, I saw a video that you put, I think, on Sunday or over the weekend on Facebook.
Yep.
And I know it's too long for us to show here, but we do have a couple of photos that we could probably bring up. But you were in the process, and I remember from the very beginning, there were days I would be mad at you, be like, E, quit being stupid. Like, we've had conversations, and I'm like, what are you doing? Because you didn't go with, initially, the Army Corps. I was like, you better go with the Army Corps. You were like, no, T, I can do this.
Yeah.
And you learned that it was better to go with the Army Corps, and I was like, finally, thank goodness. Because I didn't want you or like anyone else who watches to, like we always say, bring undue harm to themselves, because either they can do it cheaper or they heard things like, oh, they'll take our land, they'll put a lien on it, all these things. And there was so much information in the beginning that we were hearing stuff all over. And so you did kind of your own investigative work, and we're like, I'm doing it myself. And I was like, good night. You better go in and fill out the paperwork and do it. And when you did it, it was right before the deadline, like a couple days before. And you were like, I did it, T, I did it. I was like, good. So talk to us a little bit about all the stuff you've learned, the process to get up to today, January 26th, a year and almost a month later, and where you are. And we're going to show some pictures of where you are. There's only a couple, but we'll talk about, like, how do you feel right now, a year later, and those processes
I'm really feeling really good about where I'm at right now. Like you said, in the beginning, I was like, I'm not going with the Army Corps, but my thoughts with not going with the Army Corps was because not of the conspiracies or anything like that, but I really just felt like they were going to take a long time to get stuff done. And my thoughts were always, I don't want to be the last person on the last block to get done. You know what I'm saying? Because it happened to somebody. Somebody ended up being last. But the great thing is that it all happened. They cleared like all the lots like within a year. I want to say almost like 9 to 10 months. They pretty much, if not sooner.
No. Now this we talked about last week, and I will say this. Everybody knows I'm not a Trump fan at all. Despise that individual. But he came out here and he did an executive order to the Army Corps that said, get that stuff cleared in 3 months. And that is the only good thing that he has done for California or for fire survivors. Because the fact that he hates California, he has taken money and all of this. But what he did do was that order, and it allowed the Army Corps to have tons of people in, because they initially said it's going to take 18 months.
Yeah.
And it did not. And so 3 months for the parcels, the home parcels, and then they started with the business stuff. But nevertheless, yes, a year later, everything is cleared up, right?
Yeah.
And there are 8 people home again, and more home. It seems like monthly, weekly, or something.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that many people back already. 8. That's
There's 8.
good.
Yeah.
So so like you said, I went with the Army Corps. Surprisingly, they got to my block like 2 months later or whatever it was. It was like really fast. My mama was like, "You was down there harassing them people. That's why they came to your block." But I was like, "Ma, whatever it takes, you know." So
Right.
so we did that. We went to the architect and the whole permitting process took about probably took about 10 months. You have to go through the whole thing with submitting, and then they have to do corrections, and then being on your architect as far as getting your corrections done. That can take a minute, but the faster your architect is with getting your corrections done, the faster you can get back into the permitting process. Again, I didn't go to a contractor and have him do any of my permitting. I did all the permitting myself. I ran around to all the places that I had to go to, the fire departments, down to the city, to the school district, and do all that back and forth and all that. So I did all the permitting process myself. And then my parents knew a guy that it did some work for my dad. And so we're basically subcontracting. So what that
All
means
of
for
it.
anybody who does, so what for anybody who doesn't know what that means, basically is you're self-certifying. You're going out and you're getting all the people to do all the individual aspects of your build instead of having a contractor who basically does that. They'll go out and they'll put all the people together, and for that they'll take a fee depending on how much that may be. So basically, we cut out the middleman.
So
And
you are
so
your own contractor as a self-certified, because I know your father is a contractor and has built homes and stuff. So you're basically in the role of being your own GC because you did the self-certification. You go out and find a sub for your foundation, a sub for your plumbing, your concrete, then the other part of the foundation, then the framing, roofing, plumbing, everything, drywall, everything. You're subbing out the work to each individual, so it's not one person doing everything, and you're finding who's going to give you the best price, and then setting it all out to rebuild.
So so as far as the guy, and we got really lucky with the guy that cleared my lot. He cleared and graded my lot. We used the money for that was still in the debris removal to take care of that. And then so now he did the foundation. He's doing
You use the money from the debris removal. So your insurance, you had this bucket of money. The Army Corps cleared your lot. Did they then go to your insurance and say, we need this much for it? Or did they not at all?
Nope, not yet. So what I understand the plan is supposed to be is that at a certain point, they're supposed to come and say, okay, where whatever you have in that debris removal in the fund, that's what we want. Whether it's 5,000, whether it's 100,000. If you didn't use it, then they're gonna take it. So my guy built it out as basically a secondary debris removal. Whatever the Army Corps didn't take that still needed to be removed, he built it as secondary debris removal. And with that, he cleared my lot and took out all the stuff, which was cement, a bunch of grass and stuff, and some other items that they didn't take. So that was a bill that didn't have to come out of my pocket. So if you have that, I suggest you use it.
Yeah, were you also to use that? You said you graded the lot. Did you do your soil testing, or did he bring in extra and compact it, or was that what you did with yet another sub?
He bought in extra and compacted it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
and that was after he graded it and knew how much it needed to have, brought in that dirt, compacted it all so that once your home is built and earthquakes happen or whatever, or dirt settles, because it does, it won't have cracks in your walls and foundation. Okay, great.
Exactly.
Okay, so then now he also is doing your foundation.
He already did the foundation. So he probably overdid it on my foundation, but he did a great job on the foundation. And by that I mean, and Man, I wish I had some pictures, but he
I'm
trenched
gonna bring
out.
them up. Give me 1 second to bring up the 2 pictures that you did send me. Only because
Right.
you saw my
'Cause this
face when you
is
said overdid it. I'm glad you came back to explain because I was like, man. Oh, okay, they brought them up. Perfect.
so that's that one. I don't know if I sent you the other one. I'll see if I can get you
You sent me 2
another
photos.
one.
That one?
No, because even with that one, that doesn't show the trench. That doesn't
Oh,
show
okay.
how big of a trench that he dug down
Okay.
at the bottom. But he dug a really, really big trench, poured in a gang of cement, and then and then it comes up, which is called your footing, I
Yeah,
believe. If
footing.
I'm wrong in my terminology, forgive me. I don't have no problem with nobody correcting me, but
No, that's correct.
I'm still learning. So
That's
the
correct on
footing
your footing.
that he poured in was like really huge.
Okay.
So he did that, and then so you have the wall or whatever that's there.
The foundation.
And the foundation. So the footing and the foundation. So
Mm-hmm.
he did all that, and now we're on
So let me just say this also. That
floor
type
joist.
of
Okay.
foundation right there has a crawl
Is it
space.
right?
That's
Yep.
not a slab. There are 2 kinds. There's a slab that will go directly in the ground or a crawl
Right.
space. And the reason I know, because I have a crawl space. Your house is always cold with a crawl space. But that opening right there that they're highlighting is where you can go in underneath for plumbing, for electrical, or whatever. So also, Eve, talk to them about potentially insulating your crawl space. Because if your crawl space is not insulated, and I don't know if you like cold or hot. I love hot weather. I love my house to be at least 74 every day. My heating bill's crazy because my house is always very cold, and it's always about 60 because I have a crawl space. So what happens is you have that foundation built, but all the dirt and there's just cold air circulating when you have a crawl space. But that particular foundation that we were showing, and they could put it back up, is a crawl space foundation. So that's what you have. And then now they've begun on the other part, thank you, Jamal, which is the next picture.
The floor joist. Yep.
Which are putting all the joists and everything in, right, which goes directly on top of the foundation so that when they get ready, they can begin framing. But this is where they are now, correct?
Yep. So this is where I'm at now. And so they will hopefully begin framing by maybe this weekend, if not this weekend, early. I think he's scheduled to start the framing. What they're doing, what he told me was, so in between those, so what they do is he runs a wire all the way down. He runs wires all the way down and lays the insulation on top of the wire. What he says a lot of people do, they'll just put insulation in and just tack it up or something, and then it ends up falling out. So I don't know if that's something that everybody does or just some people do. I don't know, but that's what he was. Again, it's all stuff that I'm learning. So
your house will be well insulated because a lot of times they don't insulate the floor joist. They put the floor joist in, they put the sheathing on top, they frame the house, and then they insulate in between the wall joist, the framing joist, which are 16, the studs are every 16 inches.
Okay.
Like I could build a house, y'all. But the studs are every 16 inches and they insulate there. And there's a couple types of insulation, the regular like R34 or whatever, and they'll put it up and they'll put stuff over the drywall, or they can blow it in and extend. But if he's going to insulate in between your floor joists, then that kind of takes place of what I was saying about the insulation for your crawl space, because it won't be so cold underneath. They're going to go in between. He's going to put the wire, which will hold it up basically, and then he'll roll it out and put the insulation in between your floor joists, which is amazing, but it's a great thing to do because you're not going to have as much probably cool and dampness in your house.
Okay. Yeah. So then, like you said, I don't know if you can see in the back. So originally I was going to buy a tough shed or something.
On the other side, not the gazebo.
On the other side, did I send a picture from the other side? Yeah, right there. So right there, I had intended on buying a tough shed, I think it's a 10. I think that's a 10 by 12. Like a 10 by 12 shed is what I was gonna do. And he was like, "Well, no, for the money you gonna pay for that." He's like, "Man, I'll build you a shed."
Build
This
it.
dude,
Exactly.
this dude done built a small house back there.
A tiny house.
That's
Good.
Yeah, he done built a tiny house. I was like, man, I didn't ask for all that, but it's okay, cool. So that's that's the tiny house that he built. The one thing that I do kind of regret now is that so I lost a lot of backyard space, and I don't have more front yard than I know what to do with, but if I had just moved this right side up, if I moved it up like 6 feet, that would have gave me 6 more feet in my backyard. What I didn't want in my design, I didn't want like a real U-shaped in the front, so that's why I had that kind of push back. But if I'd have just moved it, I measured it the other day, had I moved it up 6 feet, I still would have had the look. It would have been closer, a little more closer to a U, but not so much that I would have been mad at, because it would have gave me the backyard space. So what I'm kind of telling people now is, kind of think backwards of exactly how you want your property and stuff to look, and then kind of work from there, because that's something that I do regret, that I missed that opportunity to have more backyard space.
And I think, though, people also have to remember, when it comes to building these homes and the space that you have to have, your zero space on each side of your house and the front yard, you have to be, whichever house is the first one on the block to build, if the setback is 20 feet, everybody has to go at least that, right? So if you have extra space and you're still within your setback, yes, move it up some, right? If it means you have more backyard. So yeah, you have to be very mindful about your setback. You have to be very mindful about who's the first one on the block to build, because if they build back 30 feet, everybody got to do that. And then the zero space on the outside, the defensible space, so that fires like this won't happen again and take entire communities or whatever. So that is a lot to be focused on or think about or consider when you're doing it. But that's super important that now, in hindsight, because it's too late for him to pick everything back up, right?
Too late now. Yeah.
That's a whole lot of money.
I just got to make a nice front yard now.
Yeah.
And do what I'm going to do in the back. So
yeah, you will.
It is what it is, though.
So what is your estimate, E, for moving back home at this point? I know framing may take about a week, and then you start with inspection of framing. And I know that inspectors should come out within 2 days of your contractor or you calling to say, hey, I'm ready for an inspection. Because they have inspectors and they're hiring more, so that there's a 48-hour turnaround. So if you, I was at a meeting in La Cañada last month, and that's what the guy who's over all the inspectors for the county said. He was there, and he said that they're hiring more, but their goal is that when somebody calls and says, I need inspection, that they're out there within 48 hours, because they don't want this to be in backlog, because then they're going to have a whole lot of problems. So even if it's 48 hours, your framing's done within a week, 48 hours, okay, boom, now you can move to your plumbing, your electrical, each thing there's inspections for, your drywall, all of that. What is your estimate? You got about another 60 days, you think, before you're back home?
Well, I don't think 60 days, 2 months? Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, my dad said by June. Maybe that's a little far out.
You guys are on a slower path. Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
no problem.
So maybe by June, because I mean, I guess with putting in flooring and with that, like you said, the plumbing and everything, electrical and all that goes fast. I mean, it may be sooner. I don't want to say a sooner time, and then I don't want to be looking at a sooner time and then something happening, it'd be longer. You know what I mean? But so if I say a safe estimate, and that's what he said, he know better than I do. So if he say June, as long as I'm in by the end of this year, which I should well be in by the end of this year, then I'm thrilled. That's what I gave myself at the end of this year.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, because so many people, I try to drive through every week, right? So many houses are up, E. Like, oh my God.
Right.
And when I went up a week ago Tuesday, because I was at an event at the library and it was dark, I was like, let me drive up to the house, to the lot. Let me see, how things are looking. all the street lights on the east side for sure. Lake all the way going up, and all those blocks going up Lake on the east were all lit up. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, they've got all the lights on. And then, which is good because people still live there, right? And you need it. And so I'm assuming they're going to go block by block on the east side of Lake before they get to the west side, Altadena, whatever. However they're starting it, they could be doing the same on the west side. I wasn't going over there, so I don't know. But I do know going up Lake, every single block from Altadena Drive to the top of Lake had street lights.
Oh, dang.
Lake were on, and every single block that I passed had lights turned on. And this was 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So
no, it's not on over there. But what I will say is that they have ran the underground electrical on my block. So that's where, you know, they got all that in. And so whenever they get that figured out, you know, turning it on and all that, you know, we'll be ready for all that. So
I think that was such a dumb thing for them to do. Immediately after the fire, when everybody was gone and displaced, and houses were all gone, they immediately put power poles up. And it's like, nobody's here. Why don't you underground stuff?
Right.
So instead of that, they were digging new trenches and putting stuff up in backyards. And it's like, that is so dumb. And now a year later, they're underground and telling people it's going to cost you up to $35,000 or whatever. It's like, no, you could have done it when nobody was there at all. Before people started rebuilding, had all the undergrounding done. And then people could just connect to that. But it's, anyway, we're not going to get into Edison and that whole thing because I'll get angry and I don't want to do that this morning. Right. But, okay, so I'm super excited for you. Congratulations.
I'm excited. Thank you so much.
On everything process. I know you have learned a tremendous amount over this last year. And I love that you're not as hot-headed and stubborn as you were a year ago when we have conversations. And I'm telling you, no, he's that ain't right. And you're like, hey, yes it is, you know, or whatever. But that's because I've learned it and I've talked to people and you've learned it. And so now you're a lot more mellow about it, but you're also in that process every day.
Right.
You're going to checking it, you're talking to your subs, you're lining up the next sub or whatever. And I'm super excited for you. Thanks for always sharing your journey on social media because it helps others. And then even if it's June, you're going to have a front yard boogie, backyard boogie, whatever this summer. And Thanksgiving and Christmas, you'll be able to be at home. Less than 2 years later.
Yeah, so I plan I try to keep everybody updated, not do too many videos. So I think probably my next video will be once they finish the framing and have the roof and stuff up. I'll do a video again then and show everybody the process.
Let us know. We'll come and do video or we'll meet you there and go live or something, right? And we can talk about it on the show. So we want to document the process for as many people as we can and keep Altadena in the limelight so that people know we are not leaving, we are not selling, we are rebuilding and coming back. And the regular media does not come or they don't tell the truth. And so if we are able to be boots on the ground and tell the truth and the story and show what's happening, because somebody told me, oh, well, you know, half Altadena has been put up by contractors. I said, that's a lie. And then I gave her stats. I went, because I know where the stats are, and I said, these are all the houses that have been sold. Now, houses are going up, but they're sitting for 90 to 180 days, where in the beginning, a few sold right away. They're not selling like that, and it's not by corporate America anyway. There are a few, but it's not. And so my thing is, let's stop with all the shenanigans in the fear, because we are coming back, and Black Altadenians are coming back and not selling. They're generational homes. We're keeping those. They're going to pass them down, and they are getting to the point where, yes, we're going to do what we got to do. So I'm super excited for you. I know you're at work right now and in the vehicle, but thank you for taking the time to jump on with us this morning. Always send pictures, videos. We'll talk about them on here. Come out And when you want us to bring you back on, you already know you have open invite because you're one of us. But anytime you have any other insight or information that you want to share, I'm sorry. Any recommendations for those starting the rebuild process now?
The main thing I guess I would want to say is get started. That's the main thing, because there's so many people who are still in limbo, like, man, I don't know what to do this, I don't know what to do that. And I think the hardest part is just to get started. You got to find somebody that you're gonna deal with. Take recommendations from people that you trust. You know what I'm saying? If you know me, you know what I'm saying? You can always reach out to me. Okay, E, who did you use for this, or who did you use for that? Or whoever it is that you trust, that you see that's doing something, talk to those people, I guess, first, and see maybe what you can work out with them. But you got to get started. That's the main thing. This insurance that people are living off of is getting ready to run out, and then once that runs out, then that's going to be a whole nother situation. So please, people, just get started.
Yeah, and I think even to go a little deeper in that conversation, in your answer about just get started, and in that, it's a broad question, any recommendations, is get started, but have your mind set. Are you going to sell, or are you coming back? And if you're going to come back, then start talking to, like he said, everybody. Or if you go on your street, like, look at different builder signs that are up all over Altadena. Call them, have a consultation. Most of them will work with you for free. And when it comes to that self-certification process, you can do that as well. You can go on the recovery website for the county, and they have where you can self-certify. And if you do, you act as your own contractor, your own general contractor, and you just sub your work out. So if you know this is how much I have based on my policy, but then you're going to have to get an architect, because a lot of times the design builders have architects on their staff. They'll do it. There are plans already out there, like the Foothill Catalog and not Action Altadena Rebuilds and Genesis. There's some companies that already have plans that you can buy. Take those plans that are already approved by the county, or take other plans that you can buy online, submit them, and if the county approves them, then you have to have somebody that understands how to read those plans to actually build it. So that's where you find your general foundation people, your framers, your roofers, the ones that can read the plans and build it, and then you sub out all the work to all the other subs that you want. So it is a much broader process. However, you can do that. You can, like when I bought my house, my electrical panel was 100 amp. Every time I turned on 2 or 3 things, fuse was popping, right? I was like, this is for the birds. I went to my city, got all the information. I went online first, and I did it as owner builder. All I did was hired Edson to come and do the electrical, him and his cousin, right? Yeah. I hired somebody else to dig the trench so that they could put all the electrical underneath. I went with them and used my veterans discount at Lowe's and different places and got everything they needed. And they came and did the work. And I paid them way less than what I hired an electrician to come and do everything. And I was responsible to call the city and say, all right, come for my inspection. Okay, cool. Let me do this. Call us back. Okay, boom, do that. So even as a woman, because, people think sometimes women can't do it, but I can self-certify and build a house. I know, right? I can get it done, right? And so the process can be challenging. You will learn a lot. But once you get in the flow of things and you get it, and there's a lot of guidance online or others that will sit with you and help you, then you can absolutely do this work, whether you self-certify or get a builder. But you're right, E, get started. Because before you know it, by the time 2 years comes and that ALE runs out, a lot of people will be home like, I'm good. Mine didn't run out because I'm in my house. And that's what I want for everybody, for the bulk of the people. So get started. You're right. Great advice.
You got to get started. Get started.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and spending a half an hour with us. Absolutely. Have a safe drive as you're at work, and we'll chat later, okay?
Definitely, T.
All right. See you later. Thank you.
Bye.
And Marcus, are you still here? He is. He was in the back. Hey, thank you. I know you were like, I don't need to be on this stage while they're talking.
Yeah, I didn't want everybody just looking at me working.
I know, makes sense. Because this is Let's Talk About It Tuesday, right? I didn't want to bring, and I will bring other people on, but I really want to start bringing Altadenians back in on a regular basis to talk about their process, where they are on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and then people like you who you've come on a million times and said, look, this is what our block did. We met. It's still dark, but we had a vigil or a candlelight or whatever, right? At that 1 year anniversary time. That's super important because it's part of the healing. And you get to see your neighbors that you haven't seen in a while. And so we were talking yesterday about this exhibit that ends today at the Pasadena Convention Center, which is being put on by, it was curated and being put on by LA Fire Justice. And so Jamal said he might go yesterday. I know you said you were planning on it. I said I was going to go. I did not have a chance to, so I might today. But I went the first day, but I would like to see it fully done. But you did go. And I called you this morning and said, hey, can you jump on to talk about it? Did you indeed go? No, come on, put those up. Thank you. So, please start to tell us not only about the exhibition, but what you felt, because you said you, your wife, your daughter, and a good friend of your daughter's went, and then you all had discussions. So I want to hear from you what it was like, what it felt like to you as someone who had to flee and run from the fire, and to hear and see these other people's stories, see their photos, listen to them on that screen. And how you felt walking through that, and was it beneficial and therapeutic, meaning a little bit more healing for you guys, or what did you experience yesterday when you went?
So right away when entering into the conference hall, the exhibit, you start to hear the videos that are playing, the testimonials. Mm-hmm. And right there, you kind of, it puts you in a different frame of mind, because you're starting to hear already, before you see anything, you're hearing Altadenians, recanting or going over their stories and kind of just giving their input, their experience. So the exhibit is downstairs, and so you're just hearing things. But as you're going down the stairs, or when you get downstairs, if you go through the elevator, you start to just kind of take in the impact of it. Me as a dad, I took my daughters, my wife, and my daughter's friend, and I was from the standpoint of, I'm kind of being nervous. I was a little nervous to see how my kids would take it in. They're teenagers, but it's of course we all have different experience, right? Even though we went through the same tragedy, it's a different experience, and everybody processes differently. So I'm kind of looking out for them, just kind of checking in on them. We all kind of went our separate ways and took it in separately, which I think is the way to do it. Like, even if you go with a group of people, take your own journey through the exhibit, and read the stories and listen to the testimonials in your own way. Because in doing so, my daughter, our conversation afterwards, she had picked up on things that I had missed, and I had picked up on things that she had missed. So the exhibit itself is a trip, because I found myself, like, literally, and I think all survivors from the fire will literally be able to put yourselves in each person's shoes at that moment. Just kind of going back through that day, you can read their story, and you can see exactly how that would have affected you if it didn't happen the same way. Yeah. So that was the thing that was just kind of very impactful for me, is doing that, is putting myself in each person's shoes and realizing that we are also resilient. Everybody is so resilient, and everybody is so positive, and everybody is positive and forward moving. Whatever that direction is, everyone is forward moving, and so that is the benefit of going to this exhibit. Like, I really would encourage everybody to go to the exhibit and take it in, because it'll give you even more pride than we already have for our town of Altadena. It's just something that I think it was very helpful for me and for my family. Everybody had a positive experience going to it, and which made me feel good, because I really was nervous. Just didn't know how my girls would take it, but they wanted to go, and so they had a positive experience also.
Good.
So yeah, it was good.
Because they're young people, right? And some of the young people lost houses, schools, everything that they've ever had, clothing, all of that. And so a year later, and kids are always so resilient. I remember with my first child, who will be 39 in April, I was stationed in Japan. I was in the Air Force. I was pregnant. It was raining. I was getting ready to leave, and I was on Okinawa. And because it's an island, your apartments are built up, right? And we were like at 3 stories, and I was on the top, and there were no elevators, so you walked. I had some brand new shoes that were core frames I wore with my blues. Those are the ones that are like patent leather. And so I hadn't scuffed them up enough on the bottom, and I was 8 months pregnant, I think, or 7. And so I'm leaving to go to work, and because it's raining and my shoes were slick on the bottom, I tumbled down steps, like 10 or 12 steps. And I was in full freak out panic, where my Japanese neighbors came outside and all this, and I'm screaming. And I remember the first thing the doctor, when I got to the hospital, said is, "You'll be all right, because babies are resilient." I was looking like, what? They said babies and young kids are the most resilient people on the planet. And she'll be 39. So I was told that 39 years ago, right? I'm thinking I'm going to lose my baby. I'm 7 months pregnant. I done tumbled down a flight of stairs, all this stuff. Remind me of that Eddie Murphy.
I'm Buddy.
That's what it was like. I was like, And he's right. Like, there was no damage, no anything. And so little people are so doggone resilient. And our town is amazingly resilient. So I love hearing that even the girls had different perspectives as they went their separate ways and walked around, and you reconvened and talked later. And you heard resiliency, right? That's so incredible to hear that, and that they had a good positive experience. So I'm really, really happy for that. I'm thankful that you shared that.
Yeah, I took a couple pictures. I didn't take many, but I did take a couple pictures. And these pictures here, I believe this one was from 1908.
Yes.
Or
it's Lake Street, where Webster's and all that is. And
Mariposa. This is Mariposa, right.
Right.
And it was just that's something that is just awesome. Like, I'm probably gonna end up printing that out and just putting it up somewhere.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, it really was good that they had that as part of the exhibit to see.
So right there is Lake Mariposa, and that is, if you go back to the other way a little bit, right there is Mariposa on the corner. There was a drugstore, like a pharmacy and stuff before Altadena Hardware. And then right there on Lake, and this was a snow cap day back in the early 1900s, and it was snow all over the mountains. But that's where the Webster's Pharmacy, that whole stretch of buildings, but only the pharmacy was at the very bottom part of that. And that other building, you remember the Pancow Construction Building, is at the top of that, which you could see because it was taller. And then if you scroll back to the right a little, then that other building below is, you remember that other building that's like the whatever society? And it was all like, I don't know, we would think it was secretive because it was like fully locked up. But whatever it is, all that is right there on lake and like Marchetta, Mariposa, all that. And so super neat to see our town way, way back in the early 1900s compared to, kind of what it looks like now.
The other picture is kind of like a panoramic picture. That one. This one was a trip because, for one, of course, I couldn't find Fair Oaks, and I was trying to find Fair Oaks or Lincoln to find where we were back then, right? But what I realized when I was talking with my daughter, we were kind of trying to do the same thing, is that there was nothing up at the foothills other than fields. Like there was not, well, there was one home on a bunch of land, right? But you can't get a good sense of or orientation as to where it is today, other than to the far right, I guess it would be. I tried to find Eaton Canyon and go from there to try to find it. My daughter was like, "This, I think, is where Rosebud was." Where, and we so then we kind of went over a little more, but. I mean, the good thing is that we knew we were at the foothill, right? So we knew we were somewhere over there, and then when you look at it, you literally see nothing but just land.
Yeah, because Altadena,
right now.
At the base of the foothills, all Altadena was poppy fields.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why now they've been giving away poppy seeds so that people replant our poppies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's the California poppy. But literally, when the Woodburys founded Altadena in the 1800s, it was nothing but poppy fields. And that big house, big mansion was the Woodburys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then little by little, they started developing what we know as Altadena now, totally different from there. Yeah. And the streets were built and, but it was just all land and all, poppies and stuff like that. So it is neat to see that. And then to say, okay, now we do know we have these streets and where all these houses were, and we'll rebuild and have much better, newer houses. One thing that I really like is we will still have very, very diverse, eclectic houses because that's what makes Altadena so special is that we're not ever a cookie cutter. Nobody has the exact same house. And they'll all look different. And even though they'll all be brand new, newer materials, everybody gets to build what they want, whether it's a craftsman, mid-century modern, Spanish, style, whatever. And to see that, the James cottages are all coming back, right? The people that had them and want those, that's what the Altadena Collective, I think, is, their plans are, all the James cottages. So it's really neat to see that we will still be just as eclectic and diverse in the different styles of housing, but we'll be a much safer, town as far as fires and things like that. But, okay, so those two, those are really nice. That's the exhibit of Virginia and Vincent, the one I talked about yesterday that I met. And that's the inside. So on the outside are the photos of her and him, and on the inside is their story, and then that of their wedding, from their cake or whatever that they had. And that's what I loved about every single exhibit were these 6 foot or 8 feet tall stories and either an artifact or something of theirs on the inside. And when you went around to the outside were their pictures. So there was like Choice and his son, there was Miss Tillman and her daughter, there's everybody, and then they had those other huge ones that were to the ceiling or whatever further out. So you took a picture of that as well, which is awesome.
Took a picture of that, and then I didn't, my daughter, so there in between these panoramics there was that was mine
of the birds, sorry.
No, I think that's actually of mine.
Oh, you did it too.
They were back.
Yeah, that's how it was when I went. I literally took video and pictures of them squawking and everything. It was so beautiful to see with the full moon. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
But there's a section that it's kind of set up like a fireplace.
A house. It's the framing with the fireplace, right?
And then one of the windows is playing a video. Correct. Testimonials, and then there's a place that there's the opportunity that you can write a note and pin it on that wall.
Nice.
Which one of my daughters did. I saw her go over and do it. So again, everybody's experience, they took away from it or gave into it in the manner in which they saw fitting, and it was best for them. So overall, great exhibit. I hope it comes back. I hope it adds more stories to it, or different stories, because we all have a story, right? So I think seeing and hearing from survivors and the positive take on everything will be very therapeutic and inspiring for everybody, and not just of Altadena, but for sure of Altadena. But for everybody. And this video, I had to take it because it was hundreds of parrots, and you hear them. It's kind of like when a B2 bomber or a fire jets come over an event, right? It's kind of and you hear it first, and then they just came over like and it's like kind of their way of just welcoming us. That's how I felt.
Yes, I feel like they know this exhibit is happening there, and they're so used to being in Altadena, and we love them in Altadena, that they're like, okay, all y'all are down here, like.
It's exactly what you're saying. I know. That's how I feel.
Like we got you. We're back. You guys are coming back, right?
Yeah,
like
we're resilient. We're holding it down.
Yeah,
we're checking in on Altadena, and we checking in on you. I mean, for real, that's how I felt.
Literally how it feels, and that's why I was like, oh my! And the moon was just beautiful, and so I literally had to stop and just take it. And I was like, the parrots are here.
Yeah. And my wife was tripping on me because she's like, I can't believe you're just videotaping this and not worried about them pooping on you.
Oh no, they can poop on me to let us know they got us in the back.
Because that was the last thing I was thinking, even though the odds were not in my favor for sure. Because it was hundreds of them. I mean, seriously, like hundreds, like 200, 300, 400. Just.
And you know what? They were outside at my house yesterday. I went out to put something in the trash, and they were like, ah! and it was probably 40 or something, and I was like, yeah, our parents, because for so long, when they first came, people were annoyed. Like, where are these parrots from? And we were like, oh, those are the African parrots, and then they just became part of Altadena, part of our culture. And that was when, I lived in Altadena, my baby boy was born, and then he was like 5 and stuff, and they were always outside, and he's going to be 29. But they've always, for 20 plus years, 30 years now, they've been part of us. And then after the fires, nothing was there. Not a bird, not a squirrel, not a coyote, even when I drive up and I see coyotes during the day, I'm like, I'll roll my window down and be like, what you doing? You're supposed to be back in the house, sleep. It's daytime. Like, you sick or what? But I'll talk to them because it's their nature, their spot that we all live in and we coexist. But I'm like, go home, get, a couple of them, I've gone up on the lot and they're sitting back on the lot and they'll run. And I'm like, I'm not here to bother you. Like, you're looking for whatever, if it's a squirrel, whatever to eat. Like, I'm bigger than you. You're not going to attack me because you're a little scrawny, coyote. I'm not worried about that. But, they just take off running. Then they'll stop and kind of look, and I'll talk to them. And I'm like, you're okay, but it's daytime. You're probably sick. You need to get, inside or whatever. And I get they're trying to find food. But I know, like Sunday, I was leaving church, and it was so funny. I walked towards my car, and somebody who was next to me is walking towards theirs. And, we're up on hill. And there was a big old... I said, what's up, little dragon? A big lizard, right? And the guy, Toni, was next to me. He was like, Toni, who are you talking to? I said, just a lizard. And he said, but wait, you're having a whole conversation. I said, I talk to lizards every day in my backyard and front yard. Like, they come out, they do their push-ups and stuff.
Yes. They get their workout in.
Yeah, they get the workout in. And he said, Toni, are you serious? I said, oh, yeah, I love nature. I said, and I'm in my garden all the time. And they'll be on the wall looking, and I'm like, all right, I'll water, but I'll water over here so you can get your sun. I'm not going to bother you over there. And people laugh, but I have conversations with my lizards, now if it was a snake, it'd be a different story. I'd probably come in the house and get a gun or look for a shovel to try to kill it.
Right.
But my lizards, and some of them are big, like alligator lizards. But And so he came around the car and it was just standing there like this. And I was like, you're good. I said, I'm going to walk back here to the door, but I'm not going to bother you. You're good. And he was cracking up like, I cannot believe he's looking at you like he's listening. And you were having a conversation with this lizard. And I'm like, why not? It's nature, right? And I love nature. So, and he stood there and I got in my car. And my car, of course, you can't hear when it starts up. So I drove away. I saw in my mirror, he was still there. Tom got in his BMW and started up, and the thing scurried off because it scared him, right?
Right.
But it's just so funny because they rely on us and we really rely on them.
Yeah.
Nature.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad you took that video because that's the exact same way I was, Marcus. Like, I got to stop and take a video of these birds out here. Like, all you Altadenians are going to be here for this exhibit. We're right here with you. Like, we're back and you'll come home. That's how I felt.
Yeah, it literally was like a flyover to me. Like, like how they would do at a sporting event. Like they did that for us for the exhibit, you know.
Yeah,
so yeah, it was really cool. I would recommend everybody to go, and I hope it does come back because
as of now, today's the last day.
Yeah, today's the last day.
8 o'clock. It's from 2 to 8 today at the convention center. You have to be there by 7:30 to get in because they do stop allowing people in 30 minutes before. You can still, be there until 8, but people have to clean up, go home, all that. And then today they'll be breaking it down. So tonight is from 2 to 8 p.m. Here it is on the screen. Ashes and Echoes, presented by LA Fire Justice. Again, it's an immersive, interactive exhibit that transforms the oral histories and stories of Eaton fire survivors into living tapestry. So it is all about home resilience restoration. They do have seating, and that's basically what it would look like. And it's on both sides because they have the loops on both sides. You could go and sit and listen to any of those 39 stories of the people who they have highlighted that are their clients.
I would recommend you give yourself at least an hour though. Just give yourself an hour because it may take less, but you don't want to miss out. You don't want to feel rushed.
I want to rush through.
No, and there may be some things that you just walk past, but there may be other places that you're gonna stop and just really take it in and reflect and stuff like that. So give yourself that time. But I think you'll appreciate it. And it will be more healing. And it's a positive experience. So I encourage everybody to check it out. I am on the fence whether or not I'm going to go back again today, just because I may not be able to get there, but I want to. I want to go back because I know going back, I'm going to have even more that I take away from it than I did just going yesterday. Like,
you'll see or hear something you might have missed yesterday and don't even know you missed it, but you will gain. That's just like watching a movie, right? You watch something and you be like, wait, I done seen this movie 10 times. How did I miss that? Right?
Yeah.
And so you get more. And to me, what's so powerful about this is that the co-curator, Timmy, who was on the other day, is not from here.
Right.
She don't know anything about Altadena other than the fact that she is now part of LA Fire Justice. She used to work for Chris when he was an assemblyman, I believe. And he brought her on. But Falante Riddle is part of LA Fire Justice. She's like Chris Jr. And her family lost several homes, and she's from Altadena, doesn't live there now, but, was PPD forever. Pamela Smith, who is also Pamela Howard and now Smith, but also from Altadena, grew up there. And so people that work for LA Fire Justice are local people. And granted, Chris Holden's not from Altadena per se. He grew up on Jackson, I believe, in Pasadena, but he's PUSD. So he went to Elliott like we did, right? He went to that rival place with the red and white across town. But sad for him. He went to that high school. But anyway, he went, right, to like places that we went to. I think he went, did he go to Altadena Elementary or something? All the places that we've all gone, or we all knew each other, mingled and gone, because PUSD covers Pasadena and Altadena for school district. And so if you grew up in Pasadena, you definitely are in Altadena growing up. because you
Yeah.
got friends, relatives, whatever, you sleepovers. If you grew up in Altadena, we kind of stick to Altadena, but we mingle with Pasadena only because we go to school and all that.
Yeah.
Meaning, and you may have friends and go into Pasadena, but Altadena's like, this is the place, right?
Mhm.
So you would
Yeah.
always be on one side,
Yeah.
the other, walk in, all this. But that's why we also say Dena Love, because
Yes.
Alta and Pasadena, we're all one really huge community.
Yep.
And I say huge meaning the area, but then it's small and tight knit.
Mhm.
And so I know that even though Timmy's not from here, she has such a great pulse on about Altadena and Pasadena.
Mhm.
And she helped curate this without even being
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah.
So that means not only the people she works with, but those 39 families that they're representing that are part of this, and they have many more, so there might be a part two. She has really it's impacted her, and she
Yeah.
has really gotten the gist of what it is. And so for her to co-curate this and put this wonderful exhibit on, I'm super glad that they reached out to us to say, hey, you guys, we're doing this, and
Yeah.
can we come on to talk about it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the feedback that I've heard, not just from you, but others that I know that have gone, that called me or text me. And then it impacted me when I went. I was boohoo crying, because again, Miss Tillman is like a grandma of Altadena.
Mhm.
Everybody knows her. If you didn't go to school and have her at Altadena, maybe your kids did. I didn't go to Altadena. I went to La Malta, but my kids had her at Altadena because they went, like Hannah, Seth, and Britt. Not Seth. Britt, Gerald, and Hannah went to Altadena, and then Seth went to Odyssey. But I got 3 of my 4 kids that have Miss Tillman. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I developed a relationship with her. And she's a Delta, and she's a Lynx. She's part of the Altadena Lynx. And so everybody knows and loves Miss Tillman and her daughter. Is it Lynette? Yeah, Lynette. And her house is gone. I remember driving on Los Flores past her house just to see, like, I hope her Bentley is not there. It was there in the driveway. You remember right after the carcass or the frame of her Bentley was there. And I was just like, oh, Miss Tillman. You know what I mean? Like your heart just went out because her whole house and her 2 cars, her Mercedes, that convertible older Mercedes, and that Bentley, the frames of them were in the driveway, and your heart just bleeds for people. You know what I mean? And it's like, so the fact is, like, the people that are in this exhibit, and I've seen Miss Tillman a couple times and gave her big tight hugs, but if you haven't seen anybody in a long time, in a year, go to this exhibit today from 2 to 8 or 2 to 7:30, because you can hear from them. You can, and it is, even though you might get emotional, it's part of the healing process. And it definitely helps with that.
Yeah. No, for sure. And again, like it is part of the healing, and you're gonna have some great takeaways. I'm certain you're gonna be able to take in a flyover as well.
Yep.
So
we think of the flyovers of being the stealth bomber on the Rose Parade or Dodgers when the Dodgers are playing in the playoffs, right?
Right.
But no, we got the best flyover, which is our parents
flyover.
Flying over right now, letting us know we're back. We got y'all. You'll be back too.
Yep. Yeah. So I second what you're saying with regards to, if you can, check it out. Parking is easy. You could probably even find some street parking, but if not, you have the parking structure right there at Euclid and Green Street.
Yeah.
And it's not going to cost you more than $3 to park. I mean, to experience the exhibit and then and even taking the flyover. So I'll go ahead and do it. Kudos to Eden Fire. What are they called? For Justice? LA Fire Justice for putting it together. And Timmy, for, like you said, she's not from here, but you could tell she put her heart into the exhibit. And like she said on the show, I felt that she kind of understands that Altadena is unique and really is special, and so she put some special attention to the exhibit. So kudos to everyone who was involved with it. And again, please go take a look at it if you can. You'll be better, and you'll be more healed as a result.
I think you're 100% right in saying that you'll be better. It's tough. Everybody knows that. But we will be better for this.
Yep.
We will be better as human beings, as society, as compassionate people, as being more empathetic. This will, if nothing else, make us better, right? More understanding, more kind, more loving. That's my hope anyway, right? And I think we'll be all right when we all come back and everybody's back home. Those that want to stay and come back home.
For sure, we know, and we've known since the beginning, since right after. We're definitely blessed. So that's a takeaway that you be remindful of every day, which I've done every day, that we're blessed as a result of this. The blessings, there's so many blessings out of this tragedy. You just sometimes you have to look for them, but sometimes they just jump in your face. But there's a lot of blessings from this, and I encourage everybody to seek out those blessings and to acknowledge the blessings to help heal as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Marcus, thank you so much for coming on today. I know your brethren's going to come on and have something to say, but thank you for coming on and sharing your experience yesterday, talking through some of those photos. And I'm appreciative that both of you all came in today.
Yeah, I think it was really, really good. I was glad to hear how E2 was progressing with his home. I didn't get a chance to ask, and nobody asked. I'm just hoping he did the soil testing. That's my
I did ask.
concern. I didn't hear his response. I think there was a different response related to that. I know he talked about having someone else compact his dirt and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't hear him respond specifically to the soil.
I did ask him, and I can tell you that it was done only because I know E, and I know when he got it done, because we've had conversations, and I did make it a two-part question. That you are correct. He said, "Oh yeah, he brought it in and compacted it."
I understand.
I let it go because I knew that he had soil testing. So
that's a good thing, because I didn't hear that specifically. I was waiting for it. So that was my biggest concern. And anybody else who's doing their home, I hope that they make sure that they do the soil testing, because that could come back and haunt you. And then Marcus definitely giving that feedback related to going to that exhibit yesterday. I'm so glad that you did go. Besides resilience, I'm curious, were there any other takeaways that you guys came away with?
Like I said, I found myself able to really just, as I read each person's story, I was able to kind of put myself in their shoes at that time of last year, with regards to, I don't remember the names of each person, but there was a couple who she had lost her wedding ring. It was missing, and they were sifting, and they didn't find it, and they found a couple rings, and eventually came across that.
Tara and Corey Almeida. Excuse me. Yeah. I forgot to send those pictures to the guy, but I have them in my phone. Yeah. So, and this is I don't know if you can see it. This is once they found it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was on her hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was that I was able to put myself in their shoes, because I was like, man, what if that was to have been the case, for my wife and I, like, that's something that, is so meaningful and symbolic and precious and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's irreplaceable, and so I was totally caught up in the story as I'm reading it. And I'm like, as I'm reading it, I'm saying, I hope they found it. Like I was hoping that they found when she said it, and the third time they found it, I was like, oh God, good, because that is, and like stated it, that is what was needed for them to be able to go forward, or to pivot and go towards whatever direction they're headed, and being able to have that symbol, have that item along their journey going forward is critical for them, and all of us have something that you could take away from the fire. Like I was able to, and I still haven't finished it. And I might be asking Jamal to help me out with this actually. But I found while they were sifting through our property, I think I mentioned it before. There's a metal plate that we came across that was just in the rubble and everything. And this is when we had I believe we had the canines up there, and we came across it's a metal plate that says faith that we discovered, and so I have that, right? And so I also have my original key that I was given when I was a teenager to the front door. Yeah, I still have it. It's still on my key ring. I'm not taking it off my key ring until I do this project. But what my project's gonna be is I'm gonna put that plate that was found, faith, and then I'm gonna inscribe or something and I'm gonna hang the key. Faith is key, and I'm gonna place that in our place, in our home. So, so everybody has something that they were able to find, or even if it's a memory, or if it's just any type of little artifact,
right,
to kind of heal from, whether it be melted coins. My mom has melted coins. She said if they can't separate them, I'll just make it a doorstop. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like, everybody has something, or everybody is finding ways to kind of embrace the journey and embrace the tragedy to go forward, in their own way.
That's so incredibly, like you said, everybody finds whatever works for them. I have my nephew, my daughter Hannah, I think both of my sons, I know Seth, I think Gerald is getting one, but they put the address 1045, right, of my parents' house, and they put a door key. Literally, Hannah still has her door key because she was still living there, right? And so they now have a tattoo of the key and the address across on their leg, on their arm, wherever. And I was like, I might have to go get that too, right? But you're right. Everybody figures out what works and does that. So I love that you're doing that placard or that plate, the faith is, and then the key that you'll be able to have, because everybody, whatever they were able to get, they can make artwork or whatever, or something that will do it. So that's super important. I love that, that you're doing that, Marcus. Love that.
Yeah.
Whatever you need from me, I'll got it. You know that.
Yes, sir.
My house key was a Darth Vader shape. It was Darth Vader. That was what Courtney got me because she knows I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, and I like to have my key differentiated from the house. So it was a little bit bigger and longer, so I can easily grab it in the middle of the night or dark. So yeah, Marcus, I get you. I still have it in my car, and occasionally I'll pull it out when I'm cleaning stuff up and go.
So in this key, the story behind this key is like the front door. Everybody was losing their keys along the years, right? So it came down to just me and my mom were the only ones with a key left,
right?
Because you couldn't, because the lock was so old that you couldn't replace the key. You would have
a skeleton key.
You would have to replace the lock. Not a skeleton key, but it's kind of, I don't know if y'all can see it.
It's unique enough. Hold on.
But
that looks like one of those keys from Muir.
School, yeah.
Open the door.
One that has the
gym.
Do not duplicate.
Right.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. Where folks like
so, can't do nothing with that.
Everybody, it's only me and my mom that have the key. And so I've had it 40 years.
Wow.
So
Wow, boy, you was
it
making
stays,
sure that key never got lost.
Right,
I
that
yeah,
never had a key
brand
that
new.
long.
I'm telling you, yeah, and it's staying on my key ring until I put it where it's gonna be on that in that piece, you
Nice.
know. But
You
but
gonna
You
yeah,
put
know,
that
you
over
can
the
get
threshold
a
of the
door
house?
lock
Anita?
and use that same key. You can get a regular door lock and have a locksmith come change to match the tumbler settings and still use that key in the future if you want to.
okay.
That'll blow your mom's mind. You're using that same key.
Locksmiths can make your door lock that you get. They can change that tumbler settings and make it fit your key.
Okay,
So
but
just
would they
keep
be
that
able
in
to make
mind.
extra keys?
Yeah,
New
absolutely.
keys?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll let
Yeah,
mom
they
That's
know.
why
can
it was
fit
such a
that key
challenge for
and
them to
make all
make
your locks at
those
the house
keys.
fit it.
I don't know what it was about it.
I
I
mean,
don't
if they couldn't do it then, I wonder why they'll be able to do it now.
technology, man.
Thing.
Just
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
folks figuring stuff
he,
out.
he had that when President Carter was in.
For the most, if not Carter, it was Reagan.
Right.
For sure. That is funny.
He got the Watergate key.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, Pete, what do you think? We're having some technical difficulties on a few of the platforms that we're using. What do you want to do with the announcements? You want to hold off?
We're still on Altadena Talks and yours and YouTube, so we should just go ahead and move forward.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on those, Marcus. If you stick around, cool. But I'm really glad you were on the show and shared your piece about the exhibit, and again about E-Dub sharing the progress of his home. I think that was great information, great questions you're asking, Tony, and insights you're providing as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it then, and here we go. Where's my piece? There we go. All right, we're going to skip right down to the bottom section. Just want to remind everybody that the SBA has returned and are providing assistance to everybody locally there at the Eden Fire Collaborative or the Collaboratory at 540 West Woodbury Road in Altadena, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're also open at Ronald Reagan Palisades, Port 283, 15247 La Cruz Drive in Pacific Palisades. They're open there Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 p.m. And just another reminder, I'll be doing this just through this week. The main library on Mariposa is actually closed for renovations for about 14 to 18 months. In the interim, Bob Lucas Memorial Library, located at 2659 Lincoln Avenue, has extended their hours. They're now open from Monday through Thursday, 10 to 8, Friday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Also, Altadena Library at Loma Alta Park at 3330 North Lincoln Avenue has also extended their hours. They're now open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. They are not open on Sundays. And then every Monday and Tuesday, Project Passion actually provides the Freedom Store at Harambe, which is located at 1609 Navarro Avenue. It takes place from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each of these days. You do need to schedule an appointment to go, and you can do so by scanning the QR code or by going to the URL, tinyurl.com/Project Passion Freedom Store, and you can definitely set up your appointment there. And then the Eaton Health Village is still providing the free medical and mental health clinic at 1280 East Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. It's from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. They do take walk-ins, but you can also call them to schedule an appointment or ask questions at 951-595-7032. And then My Tribe Rise continues to have their Adopt a Survivor matching fund drive, where they're trying to raise an additional $500,000 to reach their $1 million matching dollar amount, where they're going to provide bridge funding for rent and mortgage coverage for up to 50 families. If you're able to donate, please do so by scanning the QR code. And then wildfire tenant support clinics are offering free services for wildfire impacted renters. They are actually having a clinic tomorrow from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Church, 301 North Orange Grove Boulevard in Pasadena. Appointments, you can schedule an appointment by going to Inner City Law, or you can email, I'm trying to see his name, well, Jay Smiley or Smalley at innercitylaw.org. Together Healing Support Group is providing free grief and loss support for those from the LA fires. Happens every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Maxwell House. It's located at 55 South Grand Avenue in Pasadena. It's for any adult who was recently impacted by the fires, and it is free of charge. It is also virtual. If you have some questions, you can reach out to Joanne Diaz Kogel at 818-395-8066 or via email at Joanne, Joanne, Kogel, Koegl, at gmail.com. And then We Out Here Market is taking place tomorrow and every Wednesday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the world famous Fair Oaks Burger, located at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. They're actually providing fresh produce and groceries, smoothies, and much more. In addition to giving away items, they are needing donations as well as volunteers to help pass the items out. If you have any questions, please go to juicylittle.org.
We out here.
One last thing is it is exclusively for Altadena residents, so make sure you bring your ID, because as we know, Juicy does not play. Miss Crystal Lopez does not play.
She got a new slogan on there. You see it at the bottom left. We show up.
Yep, I see it. We show up. There's also another pop-up happening tomorrow on the 4th from 12 until supplies last, at Lifeline Fellowship Christian Fellowship at 2556 North Lake Avenue in Altadena. Going also providing 100 free hot meals provided by El Patron. And again, the Boots on the Ground special end of the month Wednesdays they're going to be giving out bulk supplies and hygiene products, new clothes, shoes, dishware, diapers, and much more. So you can come stock up on the last Wednesday of the month. And then the Laundry Truck LA continues their services. Again, Wednesdays at Altadena Seventh-day Adventist Church. Their drop-off hours are 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And this is at 2609 Lincoln Avenue in Altadena. Once you bring it there, you bring your clothes, come back in a couple hours. They will have been washed, dried, and folded for you. And then the Altadena Chamber of Commerce is actually now accepting applications through the 16th of February for a Shop Local $500 gift card. It's a grant program open to all Altadena residents directly impacted by the Eden fires. And that's for residents who had their residence lost, damaged, or displaced. Any previous applicants or awardees are eligible to apply, and the $500 gift card may be used at participating stores listed at shoplocal.la/recover-local. And to apply, you can either go to altadenachamber.org or you can scan the QR code. And as we mentioned, the large part of our segment today, Ashes and Echoes, is having its last day of the exhibit today from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Pasadena Convention Center, which is located at 300 East Green Street in Pasadena. For those not aware what this is an immersive exhibit that transforms the oral histories of Eaton Fire survivors into a living tapestry of home resilience and restoration. Admission is free and it's open to the public. And one thing to note is that they are going to stop letting people in at 7:30. So don't try to come at 8 or 5 minutes before think you're going to get in. They're going to stop at 7:30. So scan the QR code to get information. And get your ticket, your free tickets, and get information by scanning the QR code. And then there will be a community conversation about brain fog and decision overload happening also tomorrow from 6 p.m. or beginning at 6 p.m. Uh, it's designed to help folks understand why their brain shuts down during recovery and how to break big tasks into small wins. Helps people learn when to delay major life choices while the decider is offline, and share what tools have worked for you to manage the chaos and learn what worked for others, as well as get answers on how to explain your fog to those who may not understand why you're not back to normal yet. To actually participate in this virtual event, you can go to the URL tr.ee/community-convo, or just scan the QR code. And then Lincoln Avenue Water Company is having a special shareholders meeting. This is happening on Thursday, February 5th at Loma Alta Park Community Room from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The topic is the 2026 rate adjustment and financial position. The rate information is available on the website at lawc.org. You must be a shareholder or tenant in the Lincoln Avenue service area to participate. If you have any questions but are unable to attend the meeting, you're always welcome to contact their office at area code 626-798-9101. A couple more. And then for Soul to Soul Solutions and Jazzy Jams for Empowerment, their first Fridays, New Year Connections is happening this Friday, February 6th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Celebrate the arrival of the new year in community. And they're hosting an event or an evening of networking and celebration. It's going to be in the water cooler room at the Paseo, Colorado. Come for the music and laughter and stay for the meaningful connections. Let's toast to a prosperous new year. It's located at 300 East Colorado Boulevard, Suite 150 in Pasadena. And to RSVP, you want to send an email to info@jazzyjam4empowerment.org. And if you have questions, looks like you can call 626-755-3057. And on Saturday, there's free yoga at Dina Heels with a guided yoga session by Yancey Cummings. The doors open at 9 with the class starting at 9:15. It's located also at 300 East Colorado Boulevard, Suite 151. To register, please go to bit.ly/D as in Dina, H as in heels, -yoga. Also Saturday, Eden Fires Collaboratory is celebrating Dina's culture of Black excellence and art exhibit. It actually opens from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. There'll be food, music, as well as the art this Saturday. It's hosted or emceed by Rashid Ali. And the exhibit will be on display until March 31st, and it will be open Monday through Saturday. For those who don't know the address for the Eden Fire Collaboratory, it is 540 West Woodbury Road in Altadena. The Silver Lake Track Club is actually providing or presenting an Altadena to the Palisades Run. It's happening this Saturday. It's a fundraiser to run and bike ride to support ongoing fire relief in LA. If you want to participate, scan the QR code on the left. And if you'd like to donate, you can scan the QR code on the right. This is next week, but because it's limited supplies, I wanted to talk about this. There is a microwave giveaway for Eden Fire survivors. It's limited supply and pickup only, February 9th and 10th. That's the Monday and Tuesday of next week. And it will be at Harambe from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., 1609 Navarro Avenue in Pasadena. I guess that's going to go in tandem with their Freedom Store. But you do need to scan this QR code in order to register. And there is an email towards the bottom, but it's a little long, so scanning the QR code would be best. And it's limited to one per household, and an Altadena address verification is required. And then lastly, Janelle Ketcher is going to participate or run a workshop called Writing Letters, a tool for grief, to help people learn about the therapeutic qualities of letter writing and how it can be a powerful tool for processing grief. This is rescheduled from last Thursday to February 11th. It'll take place now at the Bob Lucas Memorial Library at 2659 Lincoln Avenue. And to register, please scan the QR code. And with that, I'm done. Bring everybody back in. Powerful show today. A lot of inspiration and positivity. So thank you, Toni.
Sure. That writing letters for grief. That'll be interesting. We talked about that here, and I've done it in therapy. Marcus has done it, and it is super powerful.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hope people go take advantage of that. The library's been doing a lot of great stuff.
Yep.
I just want to say, Brian, I'm digging the fro, baby. Digging the fro.
I got my Christmas addicts going.
No, but Brian, all I need you to do, you got to put a part in it, man. You got to put a part in it.
Wait.
You got to put a part in it for me, man. Come on. You can pick your side, right or left, but you got to put it in there.
Yeah,
y'all got jokes. Y'all got jokes.
Hey, but let me say this. We got to laugh, y'all. Keep laughing.
Hey. I'm
laughing.
here for it. I'm here for it. I will laugh at myself with you.
Absolutely. It's so refreshing and it allows you to get things out, whether some tears come out from just busting up laughing or not, but laughter has been key for me as part of the healing as well. So I encourage everybody to keep laughing. Find reasons to laugh at yourself and laugh at others, laugh with others. It's all good. And I know, yeah, there he is. B's uncle. That's B's uncle right there.
Freddie. Freddie D.
Uncle Fred. That's Uncle Fred.
Frito.
Yeah.
AKA Sticky Fingers.
Yeah.
That's comedy.
That's who it is.
And you got the gray and the dark are like inverted.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah.
And you would think that he'd have more craze since he was more stressed out than I was.
Well, there are a couple of them where
more
they're
gray,
more balanced.
Yeah, my girls are trying to rush him in. Trust me.
Yeah, they have no idea.
They're gonna start calling me Chris Kringle in a minute.
That's common.
Yeah.
But see, I can laugh at myself. I let you have it. I let you go ahead and get all you need to get in. Then I'm gonna just eat you up.
Oh, I know.
Not you guys, but I'll let y'all get away with it. Y'all like the people I can't really do nothing to, you know. Like, you know, when you want to beat your brother up real bad, but you know if you did, it's gonna be wrath waiting.
And then I'm the sister that's like, nah.
I told you. I told you.
He starts stuff and then go run.
Oh, I'm not gonna run though. I'm gonna be ready to fight. Because I fight my brothers and whoever, but nah.
We ain't gonna fight no girl.
I fight. Anywho.
Yep.
Thank you, Jamal, for those announcements. Thanks, Frederick Douglass. Glad you're not as tired as you were when we first joined this morning.
Oh, I'm still tired. Thank God I wasn't on the show today. I would have
Marcus for being on, and Eric E.W. Williams, thank you for being on. He's in the truck driving wherever he's got to go.
Yep.
But I guess we will say toodaloo, or I will. Y'all may stay on, but I'm not. I'm an hour and a half in. I'm tired of y'all. No, I'm just playing.
Look, even social media was done.
I don't know what happened with all those.
Right, all like y'all on too long.
Yep.
All right, have a great. This is great Tuesday. Taco
Tomorrow's
Tuesday.
Hump Day and Wellness Wednesday. So peace out, y'all.
See ya.
Frederick out.